You know, when the Xbox Series X came out, I think a lot of us were expecting some major performances from it, and, honestly, it didn't really kind of hit those targets that we were hoping for originally all that often. I mean, there were a lot of instances where older games, thanks to the way Microsoft handled the SDKs and stuff, could play games at a higher frame rate, but we weren't really seeing it in like some of the newer stuff, or in Microsoft's own case in their first party stuff. We weren't really seeing a ton of that. So now we have to look ahead, and we're like 4 years into the generation, and things are starting to kind of perk up a little bit, in my opinion. We're starting to see kind of a difference in what Microsoft is doing. We're seeing a difference surely in what the developers are doing and stuff like that. So I think that's really going to be very important going forward, and kind of seeing how Xbox has handled and some of the mature SDKs and things like that, and developers seem to have a little bit better of a handle on exactly what they're trying to do. So this should be a good video for those that have an Xbox Series X that are maybe were waiting for some of these advantages to come out. And with the PS5 Pro literally right around the corner in a very short amount of time, obviously people were going to raise questions and say, well, will Xbox be able to do things? And usually when games come out, third-party games in particular, you won't see developers give Xbox like even if it's capable of it, you rarely see Xbox get like, say, 120 frames mode, where PlayStation 5 doesn't also get it. Like, one example that I can remember where it did happen was the Mass Effect trilogy remasters. Those had 120 frame option on Series X, only 60 on PS5, but this should be good. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. It helps out the channel tremendously, and it means a lot to me personally. So, I do daily gaming content, multiple videos a day, usually. Sometimes I'll just do one, but for the most part, yeah, multiple videos a day. I try to be entertaining, but also fun, and, fair as well. So we'll see what happens there. I'll of course link this so you guys can check it out, but yeah, I found this to be very, very interesting. So there's this game called Phasmophobia, and the frame rate targets have been revealed. The Series X is the only console to hit 120 frames. So yeah, very interesting. Spooky Ghost Hunter Phasmophobia finally hits consoles, including Xbox Series X and S. Ahead of the launch, the team has revealed all of the game's technical details on each platform. The good news here is that both current-gen Xbox consoles hit 60 frames, which is nice to see, especially for the Series S. However, what's most surprising is that the Series X seems to be the only console with 120 frames support. Both the Series S and PS5 miss out for now, PSVR 2 having its own unique setup, of course. So, yeah. It's worth noting that you'll need a 120Hz compatible TV playing at a higher frame rate, and chances are this will be a 120 frames per second target rather than a locked figure. But still, Series X players with the right TV setup kind of have it all. Just over a week ago, Kinetic Games actually unveiled Phasmophobia's console release date. The game hits Xbox Series X and S here in a very short amount of time. So it's been a long road for this one to come to console, but it looks like the Series X players are getting the definitive console experience. So yeah, listen, whether or not that's like your type of game, I don't really know. I think that really comes down to the individual person, but when you think about it, the Series X has done a good job of doing that. And yeah, you know what, like, it does kind of bum me out a little bit that certain Xbox games maybe aren't the higher frame rate at launch, like the first party stuff like Starfield and Redfall. They weren't 120 frames or 60 frames at launch, and that kind of stunk. But it is what it is, and you can kind of understand, I guess, a little bit with Hellblade 2 because of what they've done. Now this game doesn't look like it's really set the world on fire with the graphical capabilities and stuff, but it looks decent and looks like something that can kind of like maybe push a little something out there for everybody. I don't know. We'll have to see how that kind of works out. But anyway, just nice to see that the Xbox Series X is capable of doing things, and that a developer isn't afraid to put it out there and let it do things that it's supposed to. I do really think that it's going to be one of those things where people maybe start to see the Series X get a little bit more taken advantage of. Like, developers obviously have the ability to do so, and so at the end of the day, that's going to be something that can help Xbox a little bit. Maybe even the PS5 Pro will help in a way, because at the end of the day, that's something that, because it's very powerful and has so much going for it. I just feel like it's one of those things where people and developers don't necessarily take full full burden of what the Xbox Series X can do. Because let's just be real, it doesn't sell as much as the PS5, and clearly people aren't as interested in it as the PS5, but it's definitely more capable, especially in certain areas. So yeah, like, it is going to be interesting to see if this is something that kind of works out in the end for Microsoft and their betterment and the Series X improvement. Because if you look at what the PS5 Pro can do, yeah, it can do some interesting things. I think obviously the main thing that it can do is a lot of the thanks to like the PSSR, it can do a lot of things that the Series X probably can't. But also, the Series X might be able to do some things that that developers weren't really kind of coding for before, because they wanted to make sure that they got the Xbox, and they wanted to make sure that the PS5 version was up and ready and things like that. So we'll see how it kind of works out. Like, I'm interested to see if Microsoft can get these things kind of working in a way that can get people excited about the Series X again. Like, I think that's really important. And when you look at the Xbox games that kind of support 120 frames, it's a pretty significant list, honestly, if you look at it. So to be honest with you, and I'm going to go over some of the more notable boosted lists. So the list of games that are pretty much boosted on the Xbox Series X. And what's funny is a lot of these are boosted on the Series S as well. So that's a pretty interesting kind of thing to remember as well. So a lot of people like to make fun of it for the ability that it lacks or whatever, but honestly, is it really lacking much? I don't really believe that, because yeah, sure, it doesn't pack the punch to do like the 4K stuff, but it was never intended to be like a 4K machine. I still feel like it has something there to offer, and I think it's still like an important thing to have. It's an important option to have there, and I think that's exactly why it's there. And so good for Microsoft on keeping everybody kind of up to speed and everything with having a console that everybody can use. That's sort of what I'm talking about. So when you come down to it and you start looking at the games that you have on there, so these are pretty big games. Battlefield 1, 120 frames. Battlefield 4, Battlefield 5, Dirt 4, let's see, the Lego Marvel Avengers, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego The Hobbit, Mad Max, which is a very underrated game, 120 frames. Let's see, Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare, Battle for Neighborville, which is a real good one. Zombies, Garden Warfare 2, Rogue Company, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Squadrons, which is a really good game. Let's see, Titanfall 2. Really good games as well. And also these ones that I'm going to, let's see, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Vanguard, Warzone. Let's see, Descenders, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Dirt 5, Doom and Doom 2, Doom Eternal, Dreamscaper, Enlisted, F1 24, Final Fantasy 14 Online, or what is that? Final Fantasy, 14 Online, Gears of War 5 multiplayer, Godfall, Halo Infinite, Halo Master Chief Collection. Let's see, Madden NFL 24, Madden NFL 23, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which I had mentioned that previously. They did a good job getting that thing running on there. Minecraft Dungeons, which is a really good game as well. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Let's see, Pentiment, Overwatch 2, Psychonauts 2, Quake 2, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 2, Rocket League, Samurai Showdown, Sea of Thieves, Star Wars Dark Forces Remastered, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, Valorant, Zombie Army 4, Dead War, The Falconeer, just a ton of them. Trackmania, I'll list these as well, so you guys will be able to check them out and let me know what you think, because, I think obviously that there is a lot of really solid games that are running at that frame rate, so it's really a good situation to be in if you're Microsoft. But I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on this stuff. Let me know. I really do appreciate it. I think the world of you guys. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. We'll catch you next time. Crap gamer.